today, Richard Dice, theathletic.com, had an article about talking to various people, different networks, etc., including an interview with Jimmy Pitaro, who is the chairman of ESPN, and he dropped this little nugget. I don't think it might be just him speaking the company line, but that he feels like that Texas and Oklahoma will not be a part of anything SEC until 2025, which they're saying that as well. What do you think it means?
Well, I mean, his line was that the agreement they made was 2025, and that's what they planned on the whole time. And the way I think it means is ESPN's not going to pay any extra money or change anything because they've already got a lot going out to get it done. So, yeah, they're not going to pay the exit fees for Texas and Oklahoma that they have to do to go earlier. So 2025 it is.
I don't necessarily believe that fully. I mean, things can change in the next 3 years. You know, I could definitely foresee a scenario where, you know, in a couple years, Texas and OU are just a bit fed up and ready to get out, and the SEC is ready to get them in. You know what I mean? Like, just the longer you wait, it's like, you know, there's already the end of the relationship there. I mean, yeah, it sounds like, okay, yeah, well, it's just another 3 years. That's 3 freaking years, man. Like, that's a long time. And, you know, I think they're getting more and more of a taste right now during the College World Series of what life in the SEC is like and kind of their surroundings and how that's going to be. And I think that, yeah, we're not going to see them bolt in the next year, but I do think if there's any kind of an opening, I would not be surprised to see them take it. Now, what kind of an opening could there be? I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound like the network is just going to bail them out and give them all the money to make it happen. But I'm not – I guess what I'm saying is I'm not ruling out that that's still a possibility, even with what he's saying. Yeah. I just don't think it's 100%. But
no, it's not cut and dry.
No. But also, I think what's very interesting is if you read the interview that he did with Richard, was it Deitch? Deitch. I always get that backwards. Richard Deitch. I want you to tell me how many times he brings up the Big 12, and I want you to tell me how many times he brings up the SEC or the Big 10. Or whatever other conference they have a deal with. The answer to how many times he brings up the Big 12 is 0. 0 times, even though he mentions very clearly the Pac-12 and the Big 10 and the SEC or whatever, you know, specifically the SEC and the Big 10. There is no mention of the Big 12 in there. Now, I know their contract's not up for 2 or 3 more years, but that was of note to me because he's talking about the future. He's talking about college football. He's talking about all these things that they're doing, and he mentions other conferences, but there was one that he did not mention.
Well, once Texas and Oklahoma are in, again, this is Jimmy Pitaro, ESPN chairman, we will have 16 out-of-conference games, 1 per team. Well, with Texas and Oklahoma, that will be 2025. So in 2024, we'll have 14 games. That's how it all came up, but that was the deal we struck a year ago with the SEC. He did mention this as well about the Big Ten. They have been a big part of ESPN for a long time now. We have a great relationship with the Big Ten. They are certainly an ascending conference right now. I'm not talking about just football. I have a good relationship with their commissioner, Kevin Warren, but we love the Big Ten. I think everyone loves the Big Ten. They are in a very good position right now. And then they asked about the Pac-12. Is there less inventory because of our deal with SEC? Of course there is, but there's plenty of room. We are pushing both conferences, the Big Ten and the Pac-12. We absolutely are pursuing both. And you wonder at some point, and there's always been this, that CBS now has an opening. Will they go after the Big Ten, and will that leave room for the Big Ten to be a part of anyone else? And then what happens with Fox Sports and on and on and on. It's not a surprise. And even if he knew that maybe something was going to be different in a few months or maybe in a year, that's what he should say. He should keep the company line about 2025 with Texas and Oklahoma.
That's what he should say because that's what it is. And I think, if he were to have said, no, 2024, people would have been like, excuse me, what do you know that not everybody knows? And, given how this all sort of started and who was involved to begin with the mass OU and UT exodus, do you think that ESPN had any idea that was going on?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I think we do. I think we all know that Bob Bowlesby said that out and just said it. I think they've got to be more careful about what they say. And even if they that's what I'm saying is I don't fully believe that it's 2025 because I don't trust ESPN. I think that if they have an opportunity to get Texas and OU in a year earlier, they're going to take that opportunity. But here's another